The morning of the execution dawned bright and beautiful, and not many people were in town when the fatal hour arrived. A few people began to arrive at the jail about 5:30 a.m. A Chronicle representative visited the cell of the condemned man about 6 a.m. He was walking in his cell corridor, smoking a cigar. He spoke pleasantly and shook hands with those who approached him. His manner, while very cool, was that of a man who was nerving himself to meet some dreaded ordeal. His demeanor throughout, however, showed that he had himself well under control. He was perfectly cool to the last. With his back to the crowd, Sheriff Garrison tied Hall's hands behind him and tied his legs with a small rope above and below the knees. The sheriff adjusted the rope under his left ear, Hall all the time telling the sheriff how much to tighten the rope. Hall began to pray in a calm, firm voice. When his prayer was finished, the sheriff placed his hand on the lever of the trap. It said, "Harum, your time is almost up. You have not long to live." Hall replied in a firm voice, "I am ready." The sheriff replied, "May God bless you," and gave the lever a quick, firm pull. The trap fell at 6:53 by Sheriff Garrison's time. The body swayed slightly. The legs contracted a little. There was a hoarse gurgling sound in the throat for a few seconds. Then all remained quiet. The knot slipped to the point of his chin, and the neck was not broken. He died of strangulation. To know the full story of Harum Hall, you have to know the land. The Hall family farm was a small dot of civilization in an otherwise vast ocean of mountains and trees. Although the land was purchased in 1857, a full 54 years after the Louisiana Purchase, a massive land deal where the U.S. bought over 800,000 square miles of land from the French government. At the time of the murder, in 1897, in the wake of the Civil War, this farm was on the very edge of civilization. It is this remote backdrop that allows our story to take place. I was born in Cumberland County, February 22nd, 1878. I am now 20-year-old. In September of 1896, I married Ida Bell Hassler, a girl who lived 4 miles from my home. I had been acquainted with her only a short time before I married her. She was about 16 years old when I married her. I was very much infatuated with her. After our marriage, we went to live with my parents. From the very first, my mother was not pleased with my wife, continually trying to corrupt my feelings towards her. At the end of 6 weeks, we separated as a result of this unpleasantness between my wife and my mother. In July 1897, we made up and she came back to live at her home. After she came back, my mother tried to get rid of her and tried to get me to kill her. But I told her I would not do it until at last, driven almost crazy by her persuasions, I was ready to commit the crime for which I am soon to die. On August 12, 1897, I hid near the well and waited for my wife to come for water. When she came, I tried to knock her into the well, but missed her and fled before she saw me. 2 days later, I made a second attempt to kill my wife. This time, I followed her to the well to push her in, but she was too quick for me and I failed again. On the morning of August 18th, 1897, Ida, my wife, took a bucket and started to the well. My mother ran to me and said, "Hiram, now is your time." So I took another bucket and followed her. We came to the well and Ida stooped down to dip her bucket, and I threw my weight against her and pushed her into the well. She caught her hands and feet on the side of the well, and she realized I was going to do her harm. As she clung to the side of the well, she looked up into my face in such a pitiful, pleading way that sure I had no heart at all for such pleading would have melted the heart of stone. But it seemed that I had gone so far that I had no feelings at all. I stooped down and picked up a large stone and struck her on the head with all my strength. She quivered for a moment, then dropped lifeless into the water. I did not want to see if she sank, but went immediately to the house. In a moment or two, Mother came running to the house and told me Ida was trying to get out of the well, and that she could do nothing. I went back to the well, found her floating on top of the water. I took a plank and struck her on the head and face several times, then pushed her under the water with a plank and held her several seconds. Then she sank. I went to the house and told Mother that all was ended. The story of Hiram Hall is possibly the greatest tragedy in Tennessee history. Hall confessed to killing his wife at the request of his mother and was hanged in Crossville, Tennessee at the age of 20. But while it seems like an open and shut case, at the very end of his confession, almost as an afterthought, Hiram says something that opens up a lot of questions. My mother also wished me to kill my father. I told her that I could not do it. She insisted that I could if I would try it. She told me that I could shoot him. I came to the fence and placed my gun through a crack and intended to kill him. The fatal moment, when I was ready to pull the trigger, he straightened up and placed his hand to the exact spot which I was aiming and uttered a weary sigh. That sigh, thank God, saved my father. Why would Hiram's mother want him to kill his father and his wife? Why was Hiram able to resist her wishes of killing his father because of a sigh, but not his wife, who he claimed gave him a look that could have melted a heart of stone? Although it's impossible to know what truly happened, Hiram's claim opens the door to an interesting theory. Hiram's confession does not make any sense when compared to his final claim about the attempt on his father's life. For example, why throw her down the well? She told me I could throw her into the well. Rural farms in this time period were extremely dependent on a source of clean water. Leaving a dead body in the well would contaminate the water and kill everyone on the farm. A water well is also the one thing that everyone on the farm would have to interact with multiple times a day, meaning that hiding a body in one was a guaranteed way for it to be found. So why not just shoot her? It's what he was planning on doing with his father. This is not the only problem with Hiram's confession. There are also multiple inconsistencies throughout his telling of events. During the first attempt, he's inconsistent about how he tried to kill her. First claiming he hid near the well and tried to knock her in, then in the very next breath claiming that he threw a rock at her. When she came, I tried to knock her into the well, someone tried to kill her with a rock. During the second attempt, he claims that she was too quick to push into the well, but she was too quick for me. While in the third attempt, that is exactly how he ended up doing it. And I threw my weight against her and pushed her into the well. He also makes the claim during the second attempt that his mother was concerned that Ida was strong enough to drag him into the well with her. She said Ida, being so strong and active, might pull me into the well. While earlier she was the one that told him how to do it, and that he could if he tried. She told me I could throw her into the well. With all these inconsistencies, the only way his confession makes sense is if he didn't do it. Throughout the trial and hanging, Harum was described as being oddly calm, even requesting to die early in the morning instead of that afternoon. He reportedly changed his story several times. This portrays him as acting very different from the regretful and distraught person he paints himself to be during his confession. This is entirely speculation, but Harum's mother seems to be much more likely of a suspect. She wanted Harum to kill his father, but Harum couldn't do it. Ida was distracting him from the task that his mother gave him, so she threw her into the well. Harum was the one who found the body, and after their separation, he was already seen as guilty before the sheriff even got there. So in his confession, which was printed in the paper, he gave his father a final warning. Now, I cannot say for certain this is what happened, but I can tell you that Harum's father, Samuel Hall, died on April 24th, 1899, a mere 12 days after Harum gave his confession and was hung. The official reports say that he died of nervous prostration, but it really makes you wonder, was Lydia Hall the killer who got away?